Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here with another review of the X5SC from Syma. Previous reviews looked at its flight performance. This one here, I just want to focus on the headless mode of this quadcopter. Now, the headless mode of this quadcopter is reasonably good. What headless mode is, for those of you that are unfamiliar, you pick a base heading out in some arbitrary direction, say straight ahead, to the north here. That will be our reference heading. If you start the quadcopter, point it in that direction, while pointing in that direction, not the transmitter, but the quadcopter itself, and bind it to the transmitter, that direction becomes a base heading for the quadcopter. So that when you activate headless mode, the yaw of the quadcopter becomes irrelevant to which direction the quadcopter goes. All of the direction of the quadcopter is controlled strictly by the pitch roll stick. So if you activate headless mode, if you pushed right on the stick, the quadcopter, no matter which direction it's pointed, will move to the right of that base heading. If you push left on the stick, the quadcopter, again, no matter which direction it is pointed, will move left in reference to that base heading. If you pull back on the stick, the quadcopter will, again, no matter which direction it is pointed, will move back away from that direction of heading. So this type of headless mode, which remembers that base heading throughout the flight, can be used as a return to home feature on the quadcopter. So say you're off to the right and forward of your position, to the right of that base heading. To bring it back to you, as a reference, point your transmitter in the direction of the base heading, and if the quadcopter's off to the right and forward, all you got to do is pull the pitch roll stick directly opposite the direction that it's located from if you point your transmitter at the base heading, and the quadcopter should come back to you. Okay, again, this is irrelevant of which way the quadcopter is actually pointing, and that's after you activate headless mode. So let's go into a demonstration flight to show this feature. I'm just going to focus on this feature and this feature alone in this flight. So let's turn on the quadcopter. And again, we're going to point the quadcopter due north in the direction of that mountain. I don't know if you can see that mountain way off in the distance. That will be our base heading. I don't have to point the transmitter in that direction, just the quadcopter. Turning on the transmitter, binding it to the quadcopter. Now the quadcopter knows that is the reference heading. And all I've got to do to activate headless mode to bring it back to me is to press this left button until you hear that beep, beep, beep. That means headless mode is activated. Okay, turning it back off again. Okay, let's go out for flight, and I'm going to send it off to the forward left position here. Then I'm going to spin the quadcopter while turning on the camera to show you that it is spinning, and bring it back to me. Okay, turning on the camera now. Okay, I'm going to start spinning the quadcopter while pointing. I'm going to also point. I've lost reference on the quadcopter. Pointing the transmitter in the direction of the base heading and pulling the stick back exactly opposite from where the quadcopter is located. And notice that I'm spinning the quadcopter as I'm doing it. Always keep the stick pointed 180 degrees out from where the quadcopter is located. And there it is. Now with headless mode, you can spin the quadcopter while flying. You can't do that while out of headless mode. Okay, coming out of headless mode and turning off the camera to save battery power. Okay, let's go to the forward right position. Okay, activating the camera, spinning the quadcopter, activating headless mode, and pulling the stick back 180 degrees from where it's at. Always adjusting the stick 180 degrees. And turning off the camera. Okay, the lights are flashing already. I don't think that battery's dead yet, though. Now, a thing, you can, let's bring it in. I want to show you. Oh, it's still in headless mode. That's why those lights are flashing. Let's bring it back down here. I want to show you something. You can adjust. Going to full high. I want to show you something. I'm going to bring the quadcopter in, and you can change that base heading to any heading that you like. Landing the quadcopter. Let's say we want that to be our base heading now, off in that direction. The quadcopter is pointing in that direction. All you have to do to change the base heading is to pull the sticks down and move them to the left and hold them there for about 5 seconds. Okay, now that is our new base heading. So let's go up again. I think my battery just died. Let's see if I got any more power. Okay, we're going to fly off in that direction and then move to the right of that base heading. I'm pointing my transmitter off in that direction, activating headless mode, activating headless mode again, activating it again. I got to hear that beep, beep. Okay, and then pulling the stick back 180 degrees from where that quadcopter's at. And it brings it back to me. Coming out of headless mode. I got a breeze coming from my back. My lights are flashing, but this still has power on that battery. Okay, I got a breeze coming from my back. Let's go off to the left forward position from that reference heading. Activate headless mode. And let's see what the breeze does to the well, it adds another vector to the flight. So you gotta, it won't come straight back to you, is what I'm saying. With a breeze, we got a breeze going right now. When you pull back on that stick 180 degrees, you might have to adjust to bring it back to you. Okay, I'm off to the left from my base heading. I'm pulling back 180 degrees. You may have to adjust if there's wind to bring it back to you. Okay, turning off headless mode. And I'm just going to finish off this battery and fly it. There's no wind right now, so there's no wind issues with flying this quadcopter. Let's do a flip. There's not enough power to do a flip. It's okay. And this is the X5SC, folks, from Syma. And there goes the battery. That's the flight time. One thing I noticed, the battery warning on this quadcopter, the flashing lights, they come on a good long time before the battery actually fails. I'm guessing that was about 3-4 minutes. You got a lot of flight time with this thing after that light started flashing. Just wanted to let you know. So that was the X5SC and its headless mode. Quadcopter 101, I hope you enjoyed the flight.